how to duplicate your layers and how to add adjustment effects to your photos in Photoshop. Now, a reason you might want to duplicate your layers is you might need a particular layer more than once. So if you have a repeated element on your design, which may have particular effects. In this instance, I have 3 pictures of my dog Ruby, and I now want to make a 4th one. So I'm going to go over to my layers panel. I'm going to right click on the layer I want to duplicate and press duplicate layer. You do have the option here of renaming your layers, but I'm just going to leave it the way it is and press OK. Now, when I drag out from that layer, I now have my 4th layer or my 4th picture. So I've used this image here and I've duplicated it to create all 4 images in one. Now, to make sure I add the effect to the image that I want to add my effect to, I'm going to select the layer. So in this instance, I want to change this first picture up here, which is this layer here. As you can see, we have our little eye here. To make sure you're on the right one, you can hide your layers. Okay, so I know that that's the one I do want to add my image effect to. I'm going to go up to image, I'm going to go adjustments, and I'm going to change the brightness and contrast. Now the brightness changes the overall image, so it either makes it brighter or darker, and the contrast basically adds an effect and makes it crisper and darker. So in this instance, this is going down, okay, and this is going back up. So I'm going to keep this up here. I'm now going to make my contrast a bit larger, and then I'm going to press OK. So that's the way that you can edit an image. I'm now going to go to my next layer, which is my Ruby over here, and I'm going to change her to black and white. So I'm going to go to images, adjustment, black and white. Now these are the default settings. I'm not going to change them, so I'm just going to press OK, and she's changed to black and white. However, she does look a little dull, so I'm going to go up to my image here and go auto contrast to bring out some of those darker features. I'm now going to move on to my 3rd one, which is my one down the bottom here, and I'm going to add a tone. Now this just sort of plays around with the general parts of the image, and as you can see, it's just changed the background colours and made it a bit more of a yellowy greeny tone. If I'm not happy with that, I can go Command Z on my keyboard and go back to the original design or the original photo. On my final one, I'm going to look at changing the overall colours in the image. To do this, I'm going to go to Adjustments, Hue and Saturation. Now, the hue changes the overall colour. The saturation is how much colour is in the image. So as you can see, it's very bright here. If we go further down the scale, it's more grey scale. The lightness is similar to your brightness, so how bright the image comes out. Now if I colorize it, okay, I can make my whole image purple, really quite bright, really quite light. So you can play around with these different effects depending on how you want your image to look. Now, they are just some examples of how you can edit an image. You can always go into your adjustments and try a range of these ones depending on the style you're trying to achieve.